you. So, Xavier.
Teacher?
Yes, please. Display for me your screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay.
If it has failed, let me display mine. Is it okay?
It's coming.
It's coming.
Mm.
Okay.
Are you able to see it?
Let me check. I'm not seeing it.
Oh.
Let me just display. Should I display your work?
Okay, it's okay then.
All right. But for the case of the graph, I think I have not moved it here. This is for you first try redisplaying your work because I not save it here.
Okay.
Try redisplaying it.
Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah. It is here. Hope you're seeing now.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm not yet seeing your work.
Oh.
I'm not seeing any display. You go to share a screen. Is it refusing?
Teacher, my cursor is not moving.
It's not moving, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. It is still okay. I think we shall discuss that also in the course of the week. I think let's first discuss what we are supposed to cover today. Is it okay?
Fine then.
All right. So today we are going to look at the agriculture economics.
Come tell the mama, thank you for it.
So this is also part of the agriculture topics, which are always examinable and is a necessity one should have covered before sitting final exams. So I believe you covered part of this in your O-level. It does not differ from what we are going to cover today, but what matters most here is we are going to put in a lot of economics. Long time Becky, today Becky has appeared. Glory be to God. Becky, first greet us as we continue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
How
I'm now back. I'm fine.
That is good. You have missed the 2 topics.
Oh.
You have missed the pig array. We finished a full topic of pig array. And then we discussed also about pastures. And today we are discussing about agricultural economics. So you have heard of your colleagues in your classes there during school time, people talking about economics, people who do Hague and what, okay, in arts. So you have the same knowledge, but only that here we are using our knowledge in agriculture. So agriculture, principles of agriculture economics and farm management. We are going to talk about how to make a budget on the farm, okay? The key things which are a necessity on the farm, which things do you take priority? How do you maintain labor, okay, on the farm? So economics is how scarce resources are allocated to satisfy unlimited human needs or wants. No, a human being is a person who is very hard. He wants everything. After eating chicken and drinking soda, a person still may not need that alone. May need a very good phone. May need expensive clothes. After that, you see a person having an aeroplane, but he wants more cars. So the wants of a person are continuous. The desires of a person are continuous. After getting this, you want the other. When you get land, you want a big house. After getting a big house, you want a wife. Just like that, you find that a person wants things continuously. Therefore, in agriculture economics, we study how man uses the scarce resources. For example, you have a plot of land, but you want to rear pigs, you want to rear goats, you want to grow crops, you want to establish a house where you sleep, you want to put an office. How do you manage that piece of land? Okay. So that's why we study agriculture economics, to produce maximum output from crops and animals at a minimum cost. If you are to grow crops, how much money will you invest in to buy fertilizers, to buy seeds, to control weeds, and even harvesting? If harvesting and doing all other activities cost you 500,000, when you go and sell the produce you have been growing to the market, are you going to get 300 or you're going to get 1 million? Okay, those are the things we are going to talk about in this topic. And this topic has its advantages. Sylvia could read for us the advantages.
Okay. It assists the farmer to maximize profit. It enables farmer to make proper choice on resources since they are scarce. Then it enables farmers to minimize cost of production. It helps farmers to produce high yield stock output. Then it helps farmers to allocate resources effectively to avoid losses.
All right, very good. Thank you. So, number one, it helps the farmer to maximize profits, to use less to produce more. Okay, so that's what we are talking about here. Enables a farmer to make proper choice on resources since they are scarce. If you have 500,000, you have to buy feeds for the animal, to construct a fence, okay, and even do marketing. What do you make a priority? Buying chemical medicine for the animals and buying feeds for the animal, or putting a fence around the farm? Which one is the priority? Okay, if you have that amount of money, but you have 500,000, you want to establish a piggery, you want to put there goats. Can 500 establish a piggery? Can 500 establish a cattle farm? Because a pig, yes, let's say you are going to buy a pig of 150 or 120, but for the case of a cattle, a cow, A cow may be expensive. A cow can cost you, a local breed can cost you 600 to 700. But if you want exotic, the one which you are going to feed, may go beyond that, 2 million and above. So that is not economical. So you have to make a right choice. Even it helps you to minimize losses on production. It helps you to reduce. How do you reduce the losses in production? You make priority. The key things, the things that help develop the farm are the ones you consider first. It also helps farmers to produce high yields. How? Because they are able to use the money properly, the resources properly. If there is water on the farm, you use it for irrigating the crops. Minimize labor on the farm. What is the value of having 10 people on your farm who can do a piece of work within 1 week and yet they are 10, than having 5 people who can do that work which could be done by other people in 1 week, and for them they do it in 3 days? Which one is economical? Okay, such things that the farmers put into consideration. It helps farmers to allocate resources effectively to avoid losses on the farm. You know how much you're putting in this enterprise. For example, if you have 5 enterprises, you have a piggery, you have an apiary, you have a fish farm, you have a garden, okay? And then you have maybe you're keeping some goats around. You are able to allocate your resources appropriately. And then the principles of economics, there are 4 principles of economics. Number 1, there is scarcity. We don't have enough. This is a state of goods and services being in short supply in relation to their demand. Scarcity is when you want to do much, but you have little. Maybe you could have desired to establish a very big processing plant, such that you are able to package your chicken. You just rear your chicken, you package it, put into boxes, clean it, and take it to the supermarket. But you don't have. What you can only afford is to rear the chicken around at home and bring other people to buy. So that is scarcity as a principle. It exists when a human being wants and needs, human needs and wants exceed what they have. Okay, that is scarcity. If every day, we take it to a scenario of life, every day you are eating meat, beans. Why? You may not be able to afford meat due to scarcity. Because when you think, for example, people who work, you are working, you're earning a salary of 400,000, you have to pay off rent of 200,000, you have to clothe yourself, and then you have a balance of 100,000. 100 is transport every day, meaning there is scarcity. You may not be able to buy certain things. You forego some things. So what you forego is what we call, let's see on the next page. Okay, let's first discuss what we forego is what we call this the opportunity cost here. And then we have choice here. Let's first look at scarcity again. What causes scarcity? Why is it that we have very little scarcity in agricultural production? Why is it that our desires exceed what we have? Why can't we afford everything? Becky, you could read for us some of the causes of scarcity.
Causes of scarcity in agricultural production. Natural factors like floods, drought, which may cause scarcity of water, food and pasture, food, livestock. High costs of production, which limit profits. Poor methods of production which slow down supply of goods, e.g. use of inferior like hand hoes, inadequate stocks of factors of production, e.g. land, labor management, etc. Long gestation periods, especially for perennial crops which take long to mature. To market demand during certain periods. This causes shortage in supply of goods. Poor transport and communication system, e.g. use of poor roads which brings delay in distribution of goods and services to market centers. Poor price that discourage production of certain commodities. Poor planning by farmers during production process. Poor government policies like high taxes. This discourages farmers from producing, causing scarcity. Poor storage facilities to store goods in bumper period, e.g. period when harvest is high, making farmers to sell all produce, hence shortage in future.
All right, thank you. So there are some things which could easily cause scarcity. Number one, natural factors. Floods come and wash away our crops. Drought, we don't grow crops. And even pasture does not grow for these animals. So that is already scarcity. Animals will not be able to get enough food. High costs of production, which limits profits. High cost, for example, if you are a farmer and you deal in piggery or poultry, you have to buy feeds for these animals. Every day they have to do consumption. For example, right now a kilogram of maize bran goes for 1,000. How many kilograms are you going to buy? So if the cost of production is expensive, what you use to do production, water is expensive, feeds are expensive, drugs are expensive. At the end of the day, you have no profits. And that easily causes a scarcity. Poor methods of production, which slow down supply of goods. For example, use of inferior tools such as the hand hoes. A hoe is not effective. You cannot till a very big piece of land because first of all, a hoe is very slow. Okay, a hoe is very slow. It requires very many people. You pay all of them. At the end of the day, you have no profit. And then inadequate stocks of factors of production. Some people don't have land. I may want to establish a very big farm, a dairy farm, whereby I can create I can create paddocks for these animals to graze. I could even put up a water spring, but the land is too small. When I do all of that, I may have nowhere to sleep. Okay, so that is scarcity. Inadequate stock of factors of production. Labor. There's a lot of competition for labor. Most people, the youths today, don't want to engage themselves in agriculture. They say this is dirty work. Now, who's going to work on the farms? Who's going to go and cut sugarcane in Kakira Sugar Works? Who is going to go and start harvesting tea? Most people want white-collar jobs. So there is scarcity. That causes scarcity. There's not enough labor. And then management. How many people have studied management, managing poultry farms, managing different types of farms? There are very few. So that knowledge is limited. That becomes a scarcity. And then the longest gestation periods of, especially for perennial crops, like cassava. Cassava takes 6 months, 1 year. In between that period, what will you be surviving on? Look at a cow. A cow takes 9 months. In that period of 9 months, what will you be surviving on? Okay, so that gestation period has caused also scarcity. So which take long to mature to meet the market demand during certain periods. During Christmas season, you may expect that there is high demand for tomatoes. There is high demand for chicken. But if your tomatoes don't mature within that time, and they mature, let's say in February, demand will be low. And that is already scarcity. Because when the goods are needed, they are not available. Okay, so that is that. So the other is poor transport and communication system, use of poor roads, which brings delay in distribution of goods and services to the market centers. Some roads are very poor. They cannot allow a farmer to transport his products, or even a farmer to move from his local area to the trading center to go and buy drugs for the animals. Okay, so that has caused scarcity in some areas. There are some areas, for example, for me, when I was staying in Busia district, I have not seen bananas. Those people don't plant bananas. But it is people of Umbale district are the ones who supply bananas to Busia district. So such a scenario brings scarcity. That's why we end up importing goods from other countries in order to avoid the scarcity. So if transport is improved, maybe we could be able to get some of these products so easily. You are able to access the knapsack sprayer, the hose, the wire in the simplest way. And then the other is poor price that discourages production of certain commodities. There's a year 2018, a kilogram of maize went up to 400 shillings. If you are a farmer and you have grown a very big garden, like 2 acres, at the end of the day, they tell you a kilogram is 500. How much have you invested in? The next season, you say, no, I cannot plant again maize. I cannot get such an embarrassment. That is a very big loss. What will happen the next season? The next season, scarcity is going to happen. Nobody is going to produce maize. So, through that, scarcity occurs. There will be scarcity in maize. And that's when you'll find that the prices of maize flour may increase because supply is low. So poor planning by farmers during production process. The moment you make an error when you're planning, it is automatic that you're going to be discouraged. And then poor government policies like high taxes. Most of the processing industries are being taxed. And this discourages farmers from producing, causing scarcity. If they close down an industry which processes the tea, the company closes down. Why? Because of high taxes. It means that a farmer will stop producing tea because he knows that no one is going to process for him or her. But if the government policy is favorable and the tax holiday is given to these manufacturing industries, the processing industries, a farmer will be encouraged because he knows he has where to sell his products to. And then the last point says poor storage facilities to store goods in bumper period when we have produced very much in very big quantities. We have nowhere to keep this produce because the store is very good in a way that when prices are too low, you just keep quiet, you keep your produce in your store. When prices increase, you go and get back your produce and sell. You get your produce and sell when prices rise. So, i.e., periods when harvest is high, making farmers to sell all prices and hence causing shortages in the future. When they have nowhere to store, it means that they will sell off everything they have, hence causing scarcity in the future. I hope this page has been clear. Is this
Yes.
page? Okay, let's see what I have on the next page. Xavier, you could read for us.
Okay. And the second principle is choice. This is the act of deciding which resources should be allocated to meet production need as well as satisfying consumers' needs. It's when a farmer makes choice out of main alternatives. Then, third one is opportunity cost. This refers to the value of the next two alternative foregone new. Hence, a choice is made when an entrepreneur is making choice in production, comma, and then if the answer questions on 1. What to produce basing on demand, climatic condition, and ecological.
All right, thank you.
How to produce basing on the skill method of production.
You could pause a bit from there. So another principle for scarcity. We need more than what we have. We have to make a choice. So when we have less, we have to make a choice. Okay. So what is choice now? If somebody is ask you, what is choice? What do you answer? Because you have been talking about it, it is your choice. It's my choice.
Okay, for me, choice it's maybe the ability to make preference, maybe between something, like maybe a good or maybe a service like that.
Okay, Sylvia, for you, what is your what do you say about?
A choice, okay, it means like an alternative of, like for example, when two things are given to you, you'll decide which one to choose.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an alternative of deciding on which thing to go on.
Okay. So here, a choice. This is when you allocate something to meet production, the one which is key, and then make others alternatives. For example, you have a piggery, you have a cattle production, but the amount of money you have 500,000. Can 500,000 establish for a cattle farm? You say, no, I think it's better. Let me buy piglets. 2 of them maybe could cost me 120, and then you have a balance to buy the feeds. But 500 cannot even buy for a cow. So you have to make sure that you make a choice. And it's when a farmer makes choice out of the many alternatives. And then what is opportunity cost? This refers to the value of the next to be alternative foregone. We discussed about cattle production and piggery. When you choose cattle production and you leave out when you choose piggery production and leave out cattle production, what you have foregone is opportunity cost. Cattle production becomes the opportunity cost. Is that clear? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, hello.
Opportunity cost, can you differentiate or can you define what opportunity cost is? Opportunity cost is your own words.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Teacher, opportunity cost is the potential benefit an individual or investor or business misses out on when choosing one alternative over another.
Okay. So when an enterprise
think-
yes, please, Becky, go on. Becky, you are saying something. Please go on. Okay. So basically, when an entrepreneur is making choice in production, he answers these questions. These ones are called economic questions. What to produce? What to produce? Becky is saying the value of the foregone alternative resource. Okay, good. So when a producer is he wants to make production, or a manufacturer or an entrepreneur, he has to answer these questions. These ones are called economic questions. What to produce based on demand, okay? Climatic conditions, and then ecological conditions, soil factors. If you are thinking about the dairy production, are you able to get pasture for the animals? Is there rain to provide for you water? But are people willing to take the milk which you produce? Number 2, how to produce. Basing on the skills and method of production and resources available, how much to produce? How will you produce the dairy, the milk? Are you going to use free range system? Are you going to use paddocks, zero grazing? Okay, those are the questions you have to answer. But even that, if you have to do that, how much are you going to produce? But all that will be based on the labor. How many people are you going to employ? Are the people even there? The demand is there for your products? And the demand for such jobs, is it there? And mechanization, are you able to get some machines to help you in terms of milking? Okay. And so much more. When to produce? When do you want to start producing? This will depend on the demand. If the demand is high, if the climate is okay and the prices are attractive, you produce. But for whom to produce? Whom are you going to produce? Are you going to produce for the old people? Are you going to produce for your country? Are you going to produce for another country, international or local, or for only your district? You have to know the market you are going to produce for. Where are you going to base? Oh, actually, this depends on the base where you are going to make your farm located. If you are going to get located in Kampala, meaning you are going to supply people of Kampala. But if you are making location in Kampala, are you able to get the resources, the raw materials, such as the veterinary doctor services, chemicals? For example, maybe you want to control weeds on the pasture land, and so much more. So those economic questions should be answered by the entrepreneur, the person who organizes factors of production. And then let's look at production itself. Okay, production is a transformation of inputs, for example, seeds, fertilizers, etc., into outputs or harvests. In other words, production is creation of utility. And what is utility? Is the ability of a good or service to satisfy a human want. Okay, production is a transformation of inputs into outputs. In other words, creating utility. And utility is the ability of a good and service to satisfy human want. Now here we are looking at factors of production. Factors of production, I believe some of you have covered the commerce. Have you studied the commerce in your O level? Hello? Has any of you attempted commerce in O level?
Yes,
No.
but only for the 2 years, from 1 up to 2, but from 3, no.
Okay, and then Xavier?
Yeah, I did, sir.
Okay, so factors of production. These are resources in the transformation of goods and services to satisfy human beings or human wants. They include the following. The first one is land. Becky, you could read for us about land.
Land. This is the most important factor of production. Economics requires land in form of soil, water, air, mineral resources, etc. Characteristics of land as a factor of production. 1. Land is geographically immobile. Its supply is fixed and static, i.e., can't be moved from one place to another. Land degrades in quality if poorly managed. Land has many uses like agriculture. The quality of land can be maintained by avoiding deforestation, overgrazing, and overcultivation. The payment for land is rent.
All right, thank you. So land, this is the most important factor of production because without other factors, without this factor, you could be having capital, you could be having labor, but there's no land. What are you going to use the other factors? So economics requires land in form of soil, water, air, mineral resources, etc. And then we have characteristics of land as a factor of production. Number 1, land is geographically immobile, does not move from one place to another. If it is in Wakiso, it is in Wakiso. You will not find it in Karamoja tomorrow. And then its supply is fixed and static, i.e., cannot be moved from one place to another. Okay, cannot be moved from one place to another. Meaning, when you have it here, you have it in one place. Unless you sell off this one to acquire another. And then the other land degenerates inequality if poorly managed. If you over-cultivate your land on the same produce for a long period of time, you'll be able to reduce the nutritive value. Nutrients are going to get over and finished. So that simply means that you have reduced the value of land. Okay. So the other is land has many uses. Land can be used for agriculture, recreation, road construction. Recreation, simply people put beaches there. People put happening places like bars, restaurants, and the rest. Land, you have seen land when they are creating roads on land. So land is very vital. That is its characteristic. The last one says, the quality of land can be maintained by avoiding deforestation. How does deforestation reduce the value of land? By diminishing and reducing the nutrients found in the soil. For example, soil water causes evaporation of water, making the land to become dry. And then overgrazing, it makes the area have a bare land. The land becomes flat. And then overcultivation, when you overuse the land without making it rest, it loses value. But the payment for land is rent. If you want to hire somebody's land, you are able to pay rent. Is this page okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so after that, we have another factor of production, which is labor. This refers to human resource, okay, produced by the goods. Are you able to see that definition there? Is it visible to you?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay, read for us if yours is visible. Save it.
Okay. Labor. This refers to human efforts extended in production of goods and services. It can be in form of force, knowledge, in bracket plant. Then characteristics of labor as a factor of production. It is mobile, e.g., cargo from one place to another. It can be inherited since involves skills of person. It's in form of human being. The quality of labor can be improved. Labor is usually paid on monthly or daily basis.
All right, thank you. So
Then
yes, please.
there's this heading that says factors that determine labor efficiency. Should I go through it also? One is,
you can read it.
Okay. Climatic condition. People can work for more hours on cool weather than when the weather is hot. Length of working hours. Long working hours discourage work. Working hours should be regularized. Work for workers to do their best. Then training. Well-trained person performs better work than untrained person. Supervision of work. If workers are supervised, it makes them to work harder. Then provision of leave days. In case provided for workers, they perform more and better work to produce good result when they return.
So thank you. So labor, characteristics of labor as a factor of production. Number one, it's mobile. It moves from one place to another. Can go from one place to another. Can be inherited. Hence, involves skills or skills of person. Skills of a person. Because, for example, if you get a skilled person who has knowledge of agriculture, that becomes a skilled person, a veterinary doctor, an extension worker, a farm manager. Those are skilled people. You can inherit them. And then it's form of human beings. There's no any other labor apart from maybe if you want to use machine, but this one majorly is a human being. The quality of labor can be improved. For example, if you bring a person who has little knowledge of agriculture, you can teach the person slowly by slowly, and the person becomes better. Labor is usually paid on a monthly basis or daily basis. You could pay them maybe 50 per month, or after doing a little bit of work, you pay them a wage for unskilled. And then next time when we meet, maybe you could be able to, note this question down. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, teacher.
Note this question down. Differentiate between labor efficiency. Differentiate between labor efficiency and labor supply. Is that finished?
Yes.
Differentiate between labor efficiency and labor supply. Is that okay?
Yeah.
At least
Yes.
four definitions each. To differentiate them, okay? 4 of them.
Okay.
It should include even the definition. So labor efficiency, after you defining labor efficiency, is then we shall be able to discuss the factors that determine labor efficiency. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so for today we are stopping there. We are stopping here for today. But in case if anything is not clear as per now, you can still consult. Because this topic we have to go slowly by slowly, because it is not, it's new. Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Is there any question?
No,
No, maybe.
Okay.
maybe after we have tried.
Pardon?
I was like, maybe after we have tried to read more about the topic and find where it's very difficult, that's when we shall give in questions.
It is okay, but just know things will be okay. And Becky, I've received your work, and you also have received your work. We shall find them within this week, and we discuss that graph. We discuss the questions, as I will be sending you more questions. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay, have a blessed day. The senior 2 class, we are studying about pastures. Feel free to join if you are free. Hello?
At what time?
At 11,
Okay.
just 4 minutes from now.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
have a blessed day.